As a Treyarch fanboy, I played Zombies in Spaceland for the first time. But that story begins long before this.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
If I was to describe Zombies in Spaceland in its simplest terms, it would be non-stop action. When I booted up Infinite Warfare for the first time ever, I did not know what I was getting myself into. And then, when I loaded into the front gates of Spaceland, I immediately felt a refreshing but familiar feeling to classic Treyarch Zombies. Spaceland is a special map, and while I haven't played any of the other maps in Infinite Warfare yet, if Spaceland is anything to go by, we all need to. Now guys, I could have just recorded my first game and made that a video, but we all know how our first games of a new map go.
It's that kind of confidence that continues to amaze people who watch Dylan play, because he's doing all of this blind.
So instead, I decided to beat Zombies in Spaceland. Now I foolishly thought this would only take a couple of games, but as we'll soon find out, this journey was only just getting started. At the end of this video, I'll give you some of my thoughts on this map, so make sure to stick around to the end, especially if you've never played it before, because trust me, you have sorely missed out on an incredible experience. This might be sacrilegious to say, especially from a Treyarch fanboy, but this map kind of reminds me of a better version of Origins. So now, on to beating Spaceland. To beat Spaceland, you first have to understand Spaceland. Spaceland is an outer space themed amusement park that has been overrun by zombies. The map is split into 4 main sections. The first area, the spawn area, is named Cosmic Way. Cosmic Way serves as a location of Pack-a-Punch, the boss battle, and it connects to the other 3 arms of the amusement park. The first arm is Journey into Space. Journey into Space also includes kind of a half arm, which is the Astrocade. The Astrocade, as we'll learn later on, is very important. The second arm is the Kepler system, and the third arm is Triton. And that's basically it, so congrats. Now you know all there is to know about Spaceland. Now let's talk about beating the Easter egg. The Spaceland Easter egg is actually very simple on paper. A bit of background for my fellow lore masters is that Pee Wee Herman has trapped our lovable cast of characters and the guy from SpongeBob in the Spaceland map. We later learned down the road, I've already looked up the storyline guys, Pee Wee Herman is actually a beta male nerd working for the devil stand-in, Mephistopheles, also known as Mephisto. Basically, over the plot of Infinite Warfare Zombies, our cast of characters use the power of Jesus and Andrew Tate to tell the devil that
I am now the Alpha.
So, like I said, the steps for this Easter egg are very simple, and it's actually a very short Easter egg. The difficulty, though, comes in just how hard these steps are. The first step is activating Pack-a-Punch, which is done by just turning on the 4 unique power locations across the park and teleporting back to the spawn. Once Pack-a-Punch is activated, you'll need to teleport to the theater room, which has the Pack-a-Punch machine, and activate the UFOs in the Galaxy Jar next to Pack-a-Punch. This is important for building the Zap Gun Wonder Weapon later on, and it's also important for getting the Exquisite Core weapon upgrade. It's general consensus that the best Zap Gun is the Head Cutter, so me being a meta slave, that's what I went for. To get the Head Cutter and the Exquisite Core, we have to play minigames like Rings of Saturn Basketball for tickets so that we can buy the Gold Teeth and the Cryo Grenades from the Astrocade store. Now, I'm no LeBron, so I opted to get tickets with some of the other minigames in the Astrocade. There actually is a pretty good wide selection. Once we have the Gold Teeth and the Cryo Grenade, we can begin the steps to get the Zap Gun. For the head cutter, we first have to get headshots on frozen zombies in front of the Triton Yeti. Then we have to build the green gift shop toy. And finally, we have to charge the little UFO in Triton with the laser trap and then get kills around that UFO. And then finally unlock the yellow shard in the crocodile's mouth in the Kepler system, which is only accessible once you have inserted the gold teeth, which is only achievable by having Gorlock the Destroyer play Dentist on the Croc's mouth. And ta-da! That gives you the exquisite core weapon upgrade and the head cutter, which is more or less a Nerf liquefier. Now we're on to the actual steps for the Easter egg. Now, as two asides, the guy from SpongeBob is your go-to during this Easter egg. In between all the steps, you have to go back and talk to him, and he gives you the next steps as the Easter egg progresses. Also, Wally is a buildable character on the map. You can build it if you want, but we'll get into that later. So, first actual step is getting the SETICOM. The SETICOM is basically a boombox taped to a calculator and an umbrella. You find parts around the map, bring it to the guy from SpongeBob, and he employs his technologic genius to craft it for you. You then have to find points around the map to place the SETICOM and defend it as hordes of zombies attack it. Now this is where the Easter egg starts to become difficult because the SETICOM has the health of a toothpick, and if it gets destroyed, a Gorlock will spawn, meaning we will have to suffer a lot of ammo drain very quickly if we fail. In short, we have to be on our game if we're going to complete this step. Once we've charged the SETICOM in 3 locations, the guy from SpongeBob will give us alien speakers. And just like that, we're ready for the boss fight. For the boss fight, we place the speakers around the Pack-a-Punch teleporter and play Simon Says with the UFO while being chased by hordes of zombies. After winning Simon Says, an onslaught of clowns will spawn, and after killing these clowns, Zbindikar Galaxitron the Destroyer, the alien boss in the flesh, spawns, and let me just say, I was not familiar with Zbindikar's game. This guy packs a punch. However, after whooping up on Zbindikar, he drops an alien core. You use this to upgrade the Pack-a-Punch, so then you can upgrade your head cutter. Then we take this new and improved Zap gun, we power the entry sign to Spaceland, and we destroy the flying saucer. Once the UFO has gone boom, a soul key spawns in front of the teleporter. And finally, picking that up completes the Easter egg. So why did it take me so long to complete? It seems easy enough, right? Well, let's get into it. First off, to frame just how long this took me, I want you to picture how many hours of footage I had the glorious task of editing down. You think it's 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours? Nope, 13 wonderful hours of failure after failure. About 2 of those hours I would classify as nooblet moments. In these moments, I embraced my inner Billy No-Thumbs and died in some of the most spectacularly stupid ways known to man. Trying to line up headshots on frozen zombies? Dead. Trying to guide zombies into a trap? How about I just go prone on it instead? Trying to play basketball?
Foul!
This ultimately cultivated into one of my most pathetic games ever, the fabled down on round 1. But with enough practice, I matured my skills and started only dying in ways that even the best zombies players would find themselves caught in. Okay, maybe not. Still, I would classify these deaths as growing pains, and a lot of my deaths came from picking up tricks I would perfect down the road. Most of my deaths occurred right before the boss fight or while I was charging the SETICOM, which a few times would descend into madness. Waiting until round 26 was not an option, so I was determined to optimize my run to reach the boss by the mid-teen rounds. And now, as we close out the growing pains, I want to talk about Wally. Loading into Spaceland, Wally has been fatality by Pee Wee Herman and has had his head removed. It's up to the player to find his head and build him again. Wally is great because you can get a bunch of tickets early on by completing his challenges. Wally is not great because after you finish his challenges, he just stays there, hovering around the boss arena, and he literally caused more than one of my deaths just because he would get in the way of Simon Says and disrupt the flow of the zombies. So, I stopped building Wally. Finally, my last set of deaths were pure boss fight deaths. Like I told you, Zbindikar packs a serious punch. His little pop gun hits like a truck, and he teleports like a madman, spraying the little gun at you. There's not much more to say, so enjoy a nice montage of some of my favorite moments. So, what had I learned from all of this? I knew I needed to not build Wally, which meant I needed to play the arcade games early on before zombies started moving quickly. I knew I needed points as fast as possible to optimize my run and open the whole map early so that I could get to the boss fight as quick as possible. And I knew I needed to be patient and train around the entire boss arena in a wide range to prevent getting flattened by an alien jetpack. And then, that's when I found it. The Forge Freeze. Purchasable with tickets, the Forge Freeze allows you to farm points while doing 0 damage to the zombies. Despite doing 0 damage, the Forge Freeze is still more useful than the Winner's Howl.
Oh my god! Even though oh my god!
With the help of the Forge Freeze, I was able to open the map and get all my perks early on. This made crafting the head cutter and charging the Steadicam a breeze, and before I knew it, on round 12, I was already playing Simon Says. With the speed and accuracy of a newborn baby, I patiently and carefully memorized and recited 4 basic colors. In other words, I did terrible at it. But with enough practice, even I was able to complete it, and I heard the honk of the clowns, signaling that the final battle was near. And when Zbindikar spawned, I was ready to make this fight the last one he would ever face. And with one final wimpy slap, I sent Zbindikar running back to the UFO, pack-a-punching my head cutter and my hand shaking so much out of fear of failure, I shakily attempted to charge the entry sign to Spaceland. After missing about 1,000 shots, I landed my last shot, obliterating the UFO and beating zombies in Spaceland.
What the hell is even that?
So now let's conclude this video with my thoughts on Spaceland. As I alluded to at the start, I loved it. I like Origins, and in my head, it's typically my go-to map when I want to play a casual game with friends. But once I actually play it, I don't enjoy it nearly as much. Spaceland for me has that same feeling, except when I actually play it, I enjoy it. The map is a blast. I'm saddened I didn't play when it came out, and I know a lot of the community didn't, so if you've never played it, I definitely recommend it. The map, despite being fairly complex, feels extremely easy for beginners to pick up. Unlike some of Black Ops 3's more complicated maps, and again, I like some of those maps, it feels like Spaceland is a fairly simple map to pick up for a new player. I don't know how they created this, but it feels like you don't need to keep referring to a guide after you've played it. You maybe need to look up the first or second time, but once you've done that, it's pretty simple and easy to remember how to play the map. I hope the Zombies team at Infinity Ward got cushy jobs over at Treyarch, because honestly, the design philosophies used in this map could be applied to maybe make some of the disastrous maps we've seen come after much better. And hopefully, when we get to Black Ops 6, that's just what we see. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video. And, as promised, the teaser. If this video does well, we might just have to go and rage in the Redwoods.